everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. It's Wednesday, so we're talking about Doom Patrol. We're doing Season 1, Episode 10. After this, we've only got 5 episodes left of Doom Patrol. This is called Beard Patrol, so full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one, and you know what? What's really great? Hardly any swearing. And when it is in here, it actually mostly works. So it's proven you can be weird, you can be mature, and you can not swear as much. Guess what? You know what else? It's because Cliff and Jane aren't in the episode. You remove that, and there is so much less swearing. And I'm just telling you, like, why do they have those characters swear so much? And if you say it's because Jane's got, doesn't matter what personality Jane has. They all swear a lot. And Cliff, why does Brendan Fraser just say, hey man, I need to swear a lot on this show? Or do they just want, because it's Brendan Fraser, to swear a lot on the show? I don't know. Maybe because he's a hothead, because him and Jane maybe are like kind of like similar in that way. But you take those two characters out of the episode and suddenly it is a calmer, less aggressive, less vulgar filled show. And like I said, coming from a guy who fucking swears all the time, it just takes me out of it. But this was a nice, good episode. The other thing I noticed right away was this was directed by Sally Richardson Whitfield, and I knew that name from somewhere. I was about 99% sure who that was. She played Allison Blake on the great sci-fi show Eureka. She's a very, very, very good actress. I like her a lot on this show. She's stunning, by the way. That doesn't matter, but she is. So she directed this episode, so that's pretty cool. I like that. And this takes us to 1913. There's 2 stories going on. They're running, this one with Beard Guy here is running concurrently with the Jane Patrol episode. So while they're inside Jane's mind, the events in this episode are happening. And no, Vic and Rita, like I said last review, there's nothing funny going on between the two of them. There's no hanky-panky, which thank God, actually. And then we have Niles back in 1913. And again, I'm like, how old is Niles? Why doesn't anybody age on this show? Like, fine, there's different explanations for certain characters, but Niles? Like, is it because of the association he has with the girl that he finds in the woods? But really, like, what? What? Anyway. He's with the Bureau of Oddities, and he's out there in the woods to find this creature that he's got a hand drawing of. So this is the Bureau of Normalcy when it was called the Bureau of Oddities. And his companion Alistair is convinced that, well, whatever's out here will probably kill us. But Niles is saying, well, those people that went missing, they were hunters and we're explorers. But that anything out in these woods would want to kill you anyway, which is kind of true. They get, like, hunted by wolves, and Alistair saves Niles' life, but then he's attacked by wolves himself. Niles tries to run away, snaps his leg, of course, and then gets found by this great big huge creature that's, like, probably really, the first thing I thought of was Man, Bear, Pig. Because it's this, like, giant deer, wolf, bear, spirit animal kind of thing that comes out of the woods and takes him away. And it's the thing that scares the wolves away from killing him. And then we get sent to West Seneca, New York, where we meet this guy named Ernest Franklin, he's the cliche guy living in his parents' basement doing nothing at all. Just sitting there. He's got like all this stuff about hair and hair care products, and I thought that was really strange. And this is a strange episode in this respect. This is one of the strangest characters I've ever seen, and it's gross, but it's oddly well thought out and very unexpected, very unassuming type of thing that just kind of like, what? Okay. So this guy, he doesn't eat like normal food. He's beyond that. I didn't understand that at first. I also thought when he went to the grocery store for his mother that he was looking at the old guy in the aisle like he was a filet mignon. I'm like, why is this guy like a cannibal or something? There's like what is he like? What is he? Is he eating flesh? Does he just But we don't know. And I mean, they call him the beard hunter. So the Bureau of Normalcy infiltrates the grocery store because why not? To find him, and they tell him that he's been activated to find Niles Calder through the Doom Patrol gang. And so Vic and Rita are trying to find out what happened to Niles. So like during the time when Larry's other connects Jane and Robot to themselves, Vic and Rita start looking at the comic book that Danny Street gave them a couple of episodes ago. And Rita notices that there's this hunky guy that was in the comic book that's missing. And that it's in the ad description is for Mentalos. So that definitely sounds like a supervillain name. But they don't get to explore this too far because Ernest infiltrates their house, worst security ever, and he proceeds to do one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in anything ever, which is he takes like a snake drain cleaner type of thing and pulls out a gross hairball from Niles' sink and proceeds to eat it. And not just eat it, like he's like the characters from V, the old 80s show where the lizards, that look like humans but they're lizards underneath, and how they would eat a mouse, and he's all like, it was fucking gross as hell. I've never seen it. It's really disgusting. But his power is he eats your hair. He consumes your essence through hair, and he basically is in your head. He knows everything about you, and so he knows about Niles and everything that Niles knew. It's this weird psychic power that's really, really bizarre, very, very specific, and he can also track you with your hair that he eats. And yeah. Also, like earlier when Larry's other is like attached to Jane and Cliff, she calls it this thing, and I was thinking to myself, hey Rita, you're all kind of things. This is just another thing. You're a thing, he's a thing, those people are things. So, also Niles' middle name is Evelyn. It doesn't matter. It's just funny that he has a woman's name as a middle name. But hey, my middle name's Fitzgerald, so what are you going to do? I do like how this is like early Niles, and that this is his real first mission into the world of odd stuff, really, and that he's still got that closed off mindset where I'm not an animal, you're an animal, like kind of seeing things from the way that only an ignorant person could see things from. He's kind of a scary cat. He's a bit of a little bitch, if you ask me. To be honest with you. But he, slowly but surely through this episode, he sees how things really are and he changes into the man that he becomes later on. And that Niles called her the crown jewel of the oddities collection, which is also kind of a scary thing that he was planning on bringing her back and basically putting her in the collector from Marvel, who just has a bunch of weird shit in glass cases to be experimented on and watched and studied. When she throws in the fish, one of the things I was thinking about was like in shows where somebody hasn't eaten in a while, why do they always just automatically just dive right into raw food? Like to say that he's been so hungry that I'm sorry, but as hungry as I have ever been in my life, and I've been hungry. I've gone without food. I've been on the end of like being so poor that you don't you feel like you're starving. But if somebody offered me something raw, I'd still be going, okay, now how do I eat this? Like I would be trying to figure out how do I eat this. I'm not gonna just bite some fish's head off. It's just I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a TV trope, like people always just diving into a raw fish. It's always fish too. Anyway, Blah blah blah. So she takes Niles to this like ancient site that kind of has the history of her people. And this is where we bring up the whole idea of eternal life. Like, how long is this? Has she been here? And it made me wonder: does the power of this place, is that why Niles doesn't age? But he hasn't been there in fucking forever, so I don't know. Um, that's when she feels comfortable enough to show him the spirit animal that is called forth, and it feels like it's kind of an extension of her. It kind of moves like her, almost like a demon from. Look, if it's people in the his Dark Materials reviews were telling me that it's pronounced demon, even though it's spelled Damon. Fine, this demon, whatever. Like it's kind of, it feels like it's that kind of relationship with her, where it's like connected to her. Um, and this is where Niles, starts to wake up and realize that he can't go through with this, and he starts to change his life, and with this experience and with this creature. Um, Beard Hunter is called a paganophile, which probably means I like to eat hair. Um, hair's like filet mignon to this guy. I like when he's like looking at Victor's face and it gets all close up, and Victor's like, "You better back your ass up." I thought that was pretty funny. Um, so he's a beard tracer, bizarre. Like one hair falls off of Victor, and he's just like looking at it like, gross as fuck. Niles falls in the ice in 1913, gets sick. She heals him, and as they get closer, he makes it with her. He makes the beast with 1,000 backs. He gets it on. They start playing, let's get it on. It's whatever. Their situation, brings them close together, and they stay together for years. It's like at least 2 or 3 years that they're together, and he's out there with her. So Vic and Rita decide to let Beard Hunter go, but he's already eaten. He's inhaled through his nostril Victor's hair and now knows everything. So that apparently gets him free because he breaks the chair basically, and because he's in your head, he knows when Victor's coming at him. He knows how to stop every counter, not even counter move, just know where he's gonna be, and it's kind of cool. Again, like this guy's powers are just disgusting, but they're effective as hell. Um, which means that because he's been compromised, his system knows this and begins to take over and sees things as threats, and now his gun is just kind of firing, which makes Victor very dangerous and kind of making you go, well, maybe Jane's painting isn't that off the mark. But he says that you and Niles don't really know. Wait till they find out what you really are, which the truth. Characters that always have the truth. I know, and it's like, well, if you know, then they know. So like, if they know, why aren't they telling? And then so that gets into the other kind of trope, which is the character who holds back a lie or holds back a truth that ends up snowballing and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy as it blows up in everybody's faces. And the picture that Jane has will probably come true in some form. Maybe not exactly the way it would have normally go down, but in somehow it's just they show you these things because that's probably what's going to happen, and I kind of hate that. It just kind of feels like it's been there, done that a million times over. So like I said, for a show with like amazing ideas and really interesting characters and lots of crazy way of doing things, they still fall into the same traps as so many other shows do, which is just following that tired formula of been there, done that, plot threads of just characters behaving in a way to just drag out the story and make things more difficult than they need to be for drama's sake, which is just, it stops becoming dramatic and starts becoming more irritating. Um, so Niles decides to stay with her, but you know that how that's gonna end. His friend Alistair finds him, Tells him about how the Bureau of Oddities becomes the Bureau of Normalcy because now we're in World War One, and they're no longer curious. They just want to exterminate anything that's not normal because that's a you know that there's no more explorers. And like I said, Victor's hiding his problems. But this is the point where Jane wakes up and we get our episodes all come together. Our stories all come back together. We're all caught up. So because of the Bureau, this is how I feel like Niles really is that he lets his he lets his friend die on the ice, and he goes back and he turns himself in. But like he says, here I am, my friend died. I didn't find anything out here, and he goes back as like the guy who was saved from this expedition. Goes back kind of a hero, and with the stories to tell. So he's kind of in with the Bureau of Normalcy, and saying, like I'm gonna be protecting, what's he say? I went home and I outwitted and outlasted the true monsters. Basically meaning the men in that room. Without, he's thinking that they understand. They think that he's talking about actual monsters out there when he's talking about them in here, and that really kind of reveals what Niles is all about. That he left her, he let his friend die. He didn't murder him. He just didn't. He's like Batman who doesn't save somebody. Like I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you. That kind of situation. I guess you could call it murder in some ways. Like what if he helped him and they both fell in and drowned? Would it be, so whatever. It's a matter of perspective, in my opinion, in situations like this on shows. But that because of the Bureau, he's protecting oddities, not making them heroes. Like he could have them being like the Justice League out there, but this is his way of protecting them so that they don't get killed, they don't get captured, they don't get experimented on or imprisoned or etc. etc. He's doing what he can to keep these people that just want to live their lives as normal as they can. But it's really not working out. It's 2019. It's not like some Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to hide anything anymore. There's barely any corner of the world that isn't explored already, and keeping these people, I almost said creatures, weird people with these odd afflictions or problems secret anymore. But we find out that Mr. Nobody was spying on his memories. That's what this all was him reliving or seeing through Niles' eyes this situation back in 1913. And it all comes down to him wanting to know where the girl is. I don't know what he wants her for, but it's probably got to do with the eternal life thing. And Mr. Nobody in the end is still just scared of dying. That he's got all this power, but he's not fully powerful, and that maybe if he gets this girl's secrets, he can live forever and be omnipotent and then take over everything. That's where I feel like it's going. And he even says, like, don't count the Doom Patrol out. They're better than you think. But he also says, I don't care what you do to them. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of breaking me. And then Ernest, our beard hunter friend that took off, goes down this like crazy staircase, which I feel like is where Mr. Nobody, I keep saying nobody, but it's nobody. What the fuck is wrong with me? So I thought Mr. Nobody had him like kind of trapped in some sort of alternate reality, like some sort of pocket universe. But he's like going down these stairs like it's like, how did he find this place? I know that he can track, but like what if whatever you're tracking isn't really here anymore? So, but he finds this place, and at the bottom of the staircase is a Niles Calder doll that talks in a very strange voice, and behind him is the spirit animal from the girl. Where the hell is he? And if the spirit animal is there, how does Mr. Nobody not know it? And what's with the doll? Like what is happening? So this is a really good episode. I really enjoyed it a lot. I had very little complaints. Like I said, the vulgarity was down. In fact, I think I swore more in this review than they did in the episode. So fantastic job, Doom Patrol. I'm glad that there are still like some of these episodes that kind of come out of nowhere and can surprise me. So I'm looking forward to, I think it's called Francine or Francis Patrol next episode. That's episode 11. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Man, part of me has even thought about just kind of binging this show and finishing it up. But we're still going to stick to the schedule, so we got 5 episodes left, 5 more weeks of Doom Patrol. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please join the fun here at Smirking Gun Reviews. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. If you feel inclined, you can donate to the channel at paypal.me/smirkinggunreviews or check out my Patreon page where we have a couple of tiers there for donations as well. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying see you next week. Otherwise, check out all the other content that we have on the channel. We got plenty going on every single day, plus new things popping up whenever I can get them out. So, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.